How's it going, neighbors? This is Ed here with etrailer.com, and today we're going to take a look at the Let's Go Aero GearCage T6. So this is an extra large cargo basket that mounts to the hitch of your receiver. So if you have an RV like this guy, or maybe even just a SUV with limited space, this is going to allow you to get those bigger, bulkier items out on the road with you when you have limited space. So let's take a closer look at our carrier and see what it does for us. Our GearCage is made of powder-coated steel, which is going to give you a nice durable finish and help against corrosion. All of your fasteners also are stainless steel, so they're going to also hold up against corrosion and the elements of being out there in the world on the back of a vehicle. In general, when you go with a carrier this large, you're trying to carry those larger things like a huge cooler, a generator, those things that tend to take up a lot of space, or those really dirty items you just don't want inside of your RV or SUV. Included with your GearCage is the reflective tape here that's going to give you additional visibility. It'll reflect light and, make it a lot more visible. You have this huge thing on the back of your vehicle, and then you also have our LED lights right here that are going to work for your turn signals, hazards, and brakes. So this is going to give you a lot more visibility. Your LED lights are going to connect to your standard 4-pole connector, and in this case we actually have 7-way, so I used our 4 to 7-way adapter just to plug in to get that functionality. Our inside dimensions are 72 inches long, 32 inches wide, and 7 inches tall. You're going to have some nice tie-down points here for your bungee cords, or if you have a net on top of your items. However, you want to keep in mind that this guy has a lot of open spaces on the sides. So if you're going to need something like your more traditional baskets where you have coverage on all 4 corners, then this may not be the exact move for you. You might want to look for something a little bit smaller, like the etrailer travel cage, where it's lockable and it'll work as a basket, and it gives you a lot higher measure of security. As far as our shank, we have a 5-inch rise, so that's going to give you plenty of ground clearance, especially on a big vehicle like this Winnebago. And you can see our hinge point right here that's going to allow it to tilt. That is done by removing this pin, and you'll lift up your basket and secure it to the lower pinhole. But with this particular model, it's just not the best fit on this guy here, because you're making contact right away with your ladder and the top part of the bumper. As far as our shank, we're actually going to have a locking anti-rattle bolt that has a nice cool feature on the inside. On the inside of the shank, there's actually this block that's threaded that's going to catch that bolt, as well as having the spring. And what that does, it causes pressure on the inside of your shank and receiver tube to free up that space where you have the slop. So it'll stabilize your carrier as you're going down the road. Another cool thing about the lock is the fact that you have a lock cord that points outward, and that makes it just that much easier to get to that lock and secure and unlock everything on your receiver. The GearCage has a solid capacity right at 300 pounds, and it's super versatile. If you just happen to need that additional space, you'd be able to throw that into that 2-inch receiver with your anti-rattle and get those bigger items out for your fun adventure. Now, alternatively, someone may not necessarily need this huge of a carrier. This is specifically for that person that needs that big carrier for their smoker, their generator, their larger cooler for larger gatherings, all those type of big bulky items. So just for an example of perspective, putting this large tote in our 3200 watt generator here, this is going to give you an idea of how much extra space you're picking up with something larger like this. Your more conventional size carriers, that's going to be the entire space with just these 2 items, whereas you still have plenty of real estate to add on a few more things to bring out with you. Now, as we know, when we're going out for our adventures, cargo area is at a premium, and this is going to help you get just that much more. This has been a look at the Let's Go Aero extra large cargo basket for your 2-inch receivers. I'm Ed, this is eTrailer, and you have a great day.